who had a crazy good record in Sweden as a prospect. Yeah, I believe that once he was going out there and dominating this league with was none other than Jonathan Dahlin, whom the Vancouver Canucks were able to acquire, producing in Sweden, and then in the AHL, he just couldn't really get his feet under him. He went back over to Sweden again because it was reported that he was homesick, absolutely dominated that league over there. 77 points, 71 points, before trying things out one more time. The upcoming season, he's going to be playing in Switzerland with the SCL Tigers. But Dahlin was always one of these guys where the skill was there, and the camaraderie with Elias Pettersson was there. You can debate that if Pettersson and Dahlin were just on similar paths, if they were able to project and grow in North America together, there might have been a better opportunity for either of these guys to have sustained more of a North American career long term. But it can never be said that there wasn't an effort, because these guys were good together in the past. So with all that said, for Gavin McKenna's sake, is there an opportunity for Vancouver to try and double dip with the same team elsewhere, in the form of a guy like J.J. Weebush, mentioned on the Canucks Army article? More of a repeat. It's easy to get caught up in the rush.
I was having so much fun that I didn't notice how much I was losing.
It felt good knowing you can't get control anymore.
We're investing in our communities, where we work, live, and play.
Welcome back. All right, this is the day video. Plus, you find people on the internet for every Monday. It is March the 9th. We'll go ahead and start the top board that is normally having to spend work. The Ottawa Senators are fighting for their playoff lives right now, and their most valuable player when it comes to defenseman is Jake Sanders, who's depending on with their muscle numbers, which we're giving numbers to use to make the argument that Jake Sanders is just the most important player altogether. So the fact that it's being said that he should be able to week is not necessarily fantastic. They called up Gilbert ahead of the game tonight against Vancouver Canucks, which I will be in attendance for. So tonight's review is going to be later. There's a matinee game as well. I've decided I'm going to just review that with the other games later on tonight. Try to do my usual schedule today, all that fun stuff. So yeah, we'll be reviewing that game later on. Brandon Hagel has been fined for being the aggressor last night against Dahlin. Now, I've seen people calling out Dahlin, he's a coward, he's got to fight back. If you know the understanding penalty, if you know your team's right here as the aggressor and Buffalo ends up winning the game, so that's the team that go, well, we'll come back to that while the discussion around that when we get to the end of this video. And I want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buffalo game and other games of that nature, and we can have that discussion around NHL Road and how, you know, Hagel and Dahlin and all of that we saw last night for their team in other games. To be the key, that you had yourself have a bigger deal. All right, your 3 stars of the week, speaking of big deals, Mark Scheifele, the number 1 star of the week for the Winnipeg Jets. 3 games, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points. The Jets haven't given up on the playoffs at this point. They sent 5 points back to number 2 wildcard spot. Mark Nathan from Colorado, the number 2 star of the week, played 4 games. Again, his 3 goals, 5 assists, and 8 points. And then, Ace Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres, the first place Buffalo Sabres. 4 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. He's the third star of the week. And so, this is the latest that the Buffalo Sabres have been in first place in the National Division since, I believe it's 2010, where the region is playing. So, it's been a while. It's been a little while. 2010 was... It's bad to think about how long ago that was, but yeah, so there you go. There's your 3 stars for the week. The St. Louis Blues trying to keep themselves relevant when it comes to the playoffs. They just a 4-game road trip won. They won all 4 games on that road trip. And so now they come home. They've got the next 3 at home, and then they've got 3 more on the road. The St. Louis playing like a team that might have been a little bit nervous and concerned going into the trade deadline, and now coming into the trade deadline, all of that tension is gone. Most of the players are still there. And for the guys who didn't get traded, there's that sense of relief, that sense of comfort, that sense of I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I think that makes the goals play a little bit better. So St. Louis definitely playing at a level that I think they're able to maintain, but it's very likely too late this season to see them make the playoffs. But it does mean that for incoming general manager Alex Steen, maybe he don't need to make the surgery with the roster. Maybe it'll just be minor moves that he needs to make. So, moving on to Brett Marchand, and this is a story that's come out. He is expected to be out for weeks, dealing with apparently a lingering injury. This might be what caused him to miss sometime before the Olympic break. And so, if there's a possibility he may need surgery, it sounds like this could be a while. And we are about a month away from the start of the postseason. So, for a Florida team that's 11 points out of the playoffs, very likely not going to make it. Losing Marchand for weeks just makes it that much more difficult. Marchand is a blue guy, he's a leader, and so having him out of the lineup will hurt Florida's chances even further, even while their chances are not great for making the playoffs in 2026. James Schwartz, so scary incident the other night. Now got an injured face, and so he's out indefinitely for Seattle. Seattle's fighting for a playoff spot. They're currently the number 2 wild card in the West. And if they're going to be without James Schwartz for any period of time, that is going to hurt. So him being out indefinitely very likely means for us the rest of the regular season that we see him come back for the playoffs. We'll see. Indefinitely, though, is a little, it feels like it's a little different now from what it used to be. Indefinitely used to be probably going to be the season, but sometimes they say indefinitely, and then a few days later, actually it's going to be 3 weeks. So hopefully for James Schwartz, it's not as bad as it definitely sounds. White Cloud. There was a lot of speculation about White Cloud getting traded at the deadline. It did not happen. The Calgary Flames, though, do not have White Cloud in the lineup to start this road trip. He's not traveling with the team for this 5-game road trip. They have a game tonight, tomorrow night, so you have to play those two at the very least. He's not going to play it. We'll see if he joins the team towards the end of the road trip, but it sounds like he's not going to be with them for this 5-game road trip. And this is another situation where the team is pretty far out of the playoffs. You don't really need to have this lineup. The key thing is to make sure he's healthy when he does come back. I still think White Cloud should stay in Calgary. I think he's been a good fit there. I think that for the Calgary Flames, there's no need to tear the whole thing down. So I think White Cloud sticking around could be a good thing for them. So hopefully he's not out for that long. The Philadelphia Flyers could get a little bit healthier for tonight's game against the New York Rangers. Both Konecny and Sealer are game-time decisions for tonight's game. So if they're in the lineup, they make things a little better for Philadelphia. A team that probably has given up on playoffs themselves. They're not that close, but they're not far enough away to give up. Teams coming back from 6, 7, 8 points back at this time of year, it's very, very rare. But the fact that you're still mathematically alive and you look at how many games are left, why not go for it? So we'll see after the Philadelphia Flyers against the Rangers team that have beaten them so far this season. I think it's 2 of the 3 that the Rangers beat Philadelphia. Rope Hintz dealing with a lower body injury. Expected to miss a couple of weeks with an injury here. And hopefully he's good to go for the stretch run as we get ready for the playoffs for the Dallas Stars. A team that it looks like is just destined to play against Minnesota. Probably end up finishing second and hosting Minnesota in that series. Both of those teams are going to be all hands on deck. That series should be absolutely fantastic because that's what we're going to get in round 1. Dave Dickel has an interesting article today. I read through it on Nemitz. So Nemitz's name was out there a lot going into the deadline. And the thing coming out of the deadline, the fact that Nemitz is still a member of the New Jersey Devils would indicate that he's very likely to stick around. The problem is that he's due for an extension this summer. And if you go through Dickel's article, it does kind of point out that based on things Tom Fitzgerald has been saying, and when you contrast how he talks about Gritsy, how Gritsy wants to stay, and they feel there's a mutual relationship there between the team and the player, he's far more guarded in his comments about Nemitz. And so it could either be, there's 2 ways you can interpret this. Either the Devils aren't just sold on Nemitz and what he's going to bring for whether that contract's going to cost them, or Nemitz is that's sold on staying in New Jersey long term. And so if Nemitz doesn't want to stay long term, or if we end up with like the situation there with with Buffalo last year, we could see Nemitz get moved this summer. So Nemitz is going to get paid. I think he's going to look at the Hughes' contract and say, I think I should get at least what Hughes is getting. If you look at the Stevens, Nemitz and Hughes have had. I think personally valid for having that opinion if that does actually end up being his opinion. And it's going to be very difficult financially for the Devils to make it work unless they trade Hamilton in order to keep Nemitz. I'm a big fan of Nemitz. If he does get traded, I'd love to see him go to a team that I root for. But I do know that one thing with New Jersey is I don't think they're going to sell him for less than what they feel is his value. So if the team's not offering quite enough, I think unless they're in a situation where they're forced to make a deal, I don't think the deal's going to be coming. And that might be a situation to keep an eye on, not necessarily now, but as we get into the offseason regarding them. But I will say, I will link to the article in the description for this video. And so if you want to go and read the article, by all means, go check that out. So it's interesting how...
Welcome to episode 5, everyone. Joe is here to lead us through one of my favorite areas of game, portfolio.
There. The spears are running, it's all on ahead.
Welcome back, friends. We are thrilled to have you.
Rolling out of the keys to Fort Rock over to a guy named Simon Cohen. Cohen is the agent that is not. He's a Section 8 that night. I see all kinds of cutthroats, freaks, and anarchists in the lives.
What's good news? It's great to be back. Hey fellas, is there something wrong with our radio?
No time to worry about that, Donald. A wild, innocent small business just appeared. Joe used mostly peaceful protest.
It's super effective.
Wild, innocent small business has fainted.
Joe grew to level 69. He learned Molotov cocktail.
Joe got all their belongings for winning.
Get some to mom.
Are the two of you pleased with yourselves?
Every damn day, baby.
At my age, there isn't much else to do other than sit around the house and be pleased with myself. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
I wish I didn't.
Hey, where the heck is our ride going?
Oh, good Lord, here we go. The only downside of being able to blow Sander Cohen's head off at the end of Fort Frolic is having to put up with a huge fuck ton of his bullshit beforehand.
Oh, that's it. Atlas Ride. Atlas Ride. Time-wise, you could get something decent on the radio. The artist has a duty to seduce the ear and delight the spirit. So say goodbye to those two blowhards, and hello to an evening with Sander Cohen.
I mean, this is quite the introduction.
Absolutely not, Joseph. No, hell no. There will not be any Sander Cohen glazing in this video.
Donald Trump with long hair isn't real. He can't hurt me.
Whatever, Melania loves it.
I bet it's nice to hold on to when she's blowing your back out.
I haven't seen a sign of real life down here in months. Let's see if you're just another junkie comedy. Something more.
I got delicious for you right here, buddy.
You do not want to be calling Cohen your buddy. That guy is definitely in the files, if you know what I'm saying.
And just how might you know that?
Jeff introduced me to his homie who was into the arts, and I took one look at Cohen and joked my ass out of there and cut all ties. I could tell immediately that he was bad news, even before he went totally insane for mainlining the teleport class.
Is that canon, or are you just goofing off?
That's the fun part of living in 2026. Who the hell knows what's actually feeling?
All right, if you say so, Donnie. Before Cohen starts gabbing again, here's a little about Fort Frolic. It was designed as a hub for the people of Russia to indulge in everything from the fine arts, shopping, and entertainment, all the way down to gambling, partying, and pleasures of the flesh.
Once again, sounds like an awesome time, until you realize that the place is run by Houdini Slicer Scum Sander Cohen.
You all really hate this guy, huh?
Yes.
It smells of a malt and drink swamp. I waited so long for something tasty to come to this little bird. And all the paths are yokels and wolves. Where are my manners? Come in! Come in! Sander Cohen awaits you at the Fleet Hall.
I mean, I can tell he gets genuinely aroused by the smell of his own. Look, all I'm saying is, the guy has aura.
That's the single worst speech in the history of our channel.
Thank you for jamming the transmissions of those boors, Atlas and Ryan. Let the madness squall. The artist, yes, the artist knows there is richer material. For example, I test you, little more, but for a reason. I test all my disciples. Some shine like galaxies, and some earth. Come forth of the flame. Come into my home.
Something about the way he said, "Come into my home," gave me the heebie-jeebies.
I won't be a hypocrite, though. I mean, inviting people into our home and then testing them to see if they should live or die is kind of what we do in the No I'm Not Human video.
Joe, your dementia is acting up again. Please take your pill. Remember, we are United States politicians, and that means it's different when we do it.
Oh, yeah. That's my bad, Donnie. Sometimes I forget that I'm above the law, unlike our viewers, probably. Suck it, nerds.
I don't know if telling our viewers to suck it is the best way to try and grow our channel, Joseph.
Speaking of growing, our Finally Got compilation video rocketed us past 1,000 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all for joining us here in the new year. We are so excited for what's to come.
Come.
And just like that, all of my previous excitement is gone.
Yeah, that's how it works. Obama, the excitement is gone, but your mind is now clearer than ever before.
I hate you both so much sometimes. Thanks for subscribing, folks. Here's the Democrats doing a penis joke. Fucking amateurs, I swear.
I'll show you what I'm thinking. Play.
Guy was cooking until he ended the thread with, and I can't believe this is a real quote. Plinkety plank plank.
An important audio log, nonetheless, as it underscores that much of Rapture didn't particularly care for Cohen, but his status as Fort Frolics puppeteer afforded him a tremendous amount of influence.
Did he wield that influence responsibly?
You seeing this shit right here? Gonna take a wild guess and say no.
Definitely not, Joe. Guy is an actual demon, and there will be tons of Sandra Cohen slander as the episode continues. In fact, let's keep the haterade flowing with this audio log from Sanders' ex-cohort, Hector Rodriguez, featuring subtitles because the guy was completely blitzed when he recorded this.
You know what? Cohen's got to run around the line because he tells them what he wants to hear. That stuff was thrill for you.
Hang on. Hector just called Cohen a food. Does that mean I'm also allowed to say that?
I would have really preferred to.
Funny. My standard code. I want to take the ears off, but I can't. I hop, and when I hop, I never get off the ground. It's my curse, my eternal curse. I want to take the ears off, but I can't. It's my curse. It's my fucking curse. I want to take the ears off. Take them off.
Okay, y'all heard all that, right? You're telling me, Barack, with everything you know about Cohen and the horrible things he's done, you really don't think it's okay to circumvent normal societal pleasantries this one time for the specific purpose of roasting a guy we know to be pure evil? We ought to be able to completely take the gloves off with some people, you know? He's such a monster that everyone should be pretty understanding if I were to call him a little bitch, right? Like, that'd probably be fine.
Well, everybody, it was fun while it lasted.
Don't mind me while I cross Donald getting our channel banned from YouTube due to the usage of slurs off of my bingo card. I knew that shit was a slam dunk.
Right. People can say whatever they want about me, but I can't call Senator Cohen a... That's total nonsense. We used to be a proper country.
For real, though. Back in my day, parents just let their kids roam the neighborhood freely without supervision. It was so easy to meet new people.
Both of you shut your old man shouts at clouds sounding asses up. You completely derailed the video, and we are only 9 minutes in. And go look at the line security details the big signs. The next thing I know, I'm home in the riot office and talk about all this. A job artist. Tough to hear Sullivan there over the security alarms, but he's referencing the feud between Andrew Ryan propagandist Sandra Cohen and musician, doubter, and dissenter Anna Culpepper. Anna was given a seat on the Rapture City Council, but Ryan grew to regret this appointment, as she frequently questioned Ryan's ideology and suggested things he vehemently opposed. For example, Anna thought that monitored trips to the surface would be good for the citizens of Rapture. Anna eventually tired of life in Rapture and Ryan's rule of law, which, when combined with her escalating feud with Sandra Cohen, led her to lend her voice to the city's downtrodden, composing songs like Ryan's Songbird, mocking Cohen as Ryan's pet, and framing the latter as a con man.
On God, Culpepper is a real one. He saw right through Cohen's shitty screenplays and propaganda for the prison, and started writing the 1950s equivalent of diss tracks. And instead of writing a rebuttal, Cohen went and cried like a little bitch to Ryan and Sullivan. Side note, nice choice on the grenade launcher damage upgrade from that power to the People's Station to go. You've been playing pretty well so far, and I'm not even mad about it, since it's all in the name of getting one step closer to Cohen drawing his last breath.
To be fair, I would like to meet the guy before deciding if I'm going to kill him or not.
Are you kidding me? There's no decision to be made.
With that being said, as a successful SoundCloud rapper,
Oh, here we go.
I have a great deal of respect for the way beef is handled within the rap community. There's a diss track and a rebuttal, and the people decide who came out on top. You don't go crying to the feds. Cohen lost a lot of street cred with that one.
Jesus Christ. Well, I guess if that's what it takes to get you to see Cohen for the slime ball hit, then fine.
Back to gameplay. Some of the splicers here are noticeably more tanky than before. This nitro splicer is kind of pissing me off, honestly.
Their close quarters attack when they try to kick you in the groin is pretty hilarious. Run up on him again, Joe.
He will need to kick far lower than that if he's going to kick my jump, because my fang. You picking up what I'm putting down, viewers? Make sure to bend at your knees, not at your waist.
Oh my God.
Give me some gray sweatpants and watch me pop off.
What are the Vegas odds on this being our worst video yet?
With Joe leading the way, it's a foregone conclusion. Thankfully, this audio diary will offer us a brief reprieve from his nonsense.
Somebody tried to sell me those fancy Oxford Glove CDs. No thanks. I've never on the nickel down there. Always will be. Why? Really no good. They don't call them.
I want to think for themselves.
Okay. So it's a precursor to that one Boxable log that Jeremiah Fink in the opening of Bioshock Infinite that talks about how they had to bring in a bunch of a certain type of boat to Columbia to do all the shit Colombians didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Wait, I was just for Facebook. Sometime I would tell me, but I wasn't seeing since the last. I think I'm so much scared to go through the thing. They hate me so much, they ruined me like this. What am I going to do? Well, I keep thinking all the vendors, the terrorist lines, the one doesn't own the work. It's showing. It's not coming out of wait. Well, I can always confront them, tell them what they did to me. They're ruining everything for me. Oh, I'm sure. Maybe I feel better.
The want to confront the people who hurt you is pretty understandable. Does Diane ever get that chance?
Oh, yeah, she does. But we won't really get into that until a bit later in the series, if I remember right. Anyway, what plasmids are you looking at purchasing, Joe? I left you with plenty of atoms, so you had options on your quest to burn towards falling to the ground.
I think I'm going to go with the upgrade to Insect Swarm to hit multiple splicers at once if I get ganked. Barry also mentioned to me the target dummy is very useful for drawing fire from ranged splicers, turrets, and roses, so it seems like a good survival tool to add to our kit.
Distract your enemy. Follow yourself on to a dangerous situation.
Some pretty good choices, Joe. You've had some fun exploring Fort Raleigh, but let's get things moving by heading over to Fleet Hall.
Yeah, thanks for letting me do some exploring on my own since it's my first time playing. I appreciate you letting this be pretty organic for me, as opposed to just pushing me to the objectives.
I'm sure it's going to hell. And why? Because of them. Please, my name is and I steal and the gallery so but down here is so-called Utopia and counters. But Ryan understands where's got to go. Yes, there's a lot of industry. Yes, people sometimes disappear and there's awful people girls. Where am I supposed to encounter things to paint a picture without soiling your smoke?
Hi, pardon me. Can Sander come out and play?
Could you possibly think I would meet with my public now? Would I very unbelievable?
Oh, okay. Fuck me then, I guess. I'm going to remember that big dog.
Some Anna Culpepper's latest musical insult. All the great artists at Rapture. Why you continue to devote column inches to this musical rambling is beyond my imagination. For she's under the truth. She's on very others. Where she's not obvious. She's trash.
Forget Cohen and Culpepper. The Splice is screaming in agony over being attacked by beats is music to my ears.
It's genuinely funny. I mean, in a world where sea slug goo can give you superpowers, a mad scientist really was like, you know what we need? Motherfucking attack bees.
Pretty based. Good song and Mother Goose don't miss.
We'll circle back to insect swarm. This is a pretty gnarly scene.
Silence.
All right, let's see what this Cohen guy is all about. Man, this atmosphere is going crazy. Good reminder that this is a horror game.
I'm surrounded.
The Edward Scissorhands silhouettes are really freaky.
Oh God, you stink! Fucking let me out of there!
Oh, damn. I was not expecting that.
Lies. Yes. The burden of the artist is to capture. See young Fitzpatrick here on the stage. Your camera. Take it as this now.
Take photographic evidence of the murder I just committed so I can remember it forever and ever. Is a pretty insane request of some guy you just met like 20 minutes ago.
Once again, I don't know why the photos are so unclear.
Now you've got Fitzpatrick caught in his moment of glory. It seems you can grab the eye of the shutter button, little fox. Now, get to the atrium and place this photograph in my masterpiece. And so, our collaboration commences.
I guess we don't really have any options other than to play ball for now, due to Cohen preventing us from getting to FS's.
Indeed, and great piece of target dummy. Dear Joe, it can distract turret fire and leave them wide open for hacking. I told you that little plasmid tutorial I gave you last week would pay off.
No wonder he's been pretty confident this episode. He's got Emperor Palpatine whispering sweet nothings in his ear.
Somehow, Obama returned.
Gotta feel bad for modern Star Wars fans. They've had to endure damn near burial at sea levels of writing nonsense for years now.
Speaking of nonsense, do you all see the prices in this circus of values machine? $240 for a goddamn pet bar is crazy.
It's like when music venues charge $16 for a juice. Fuck you. I guess I'll have another.
What is it called, little? Use your own hands when you paint with the blood of a man I once loved. Yes, I'll send you. But first, you must be part of my masterpiece. Go to the atrium. Hurry now. I use a bigger bitch with a very short attention span.
So Cohen loved Ryan at one point, but they must have had a falling out if Cohen is willing to send us to Ryan knowing damn well we were finna crack skulls.
Do you think Cohen ever made a legitimate pass at Ryan?
I mean, probably not. Considering Ryan's favor is all that kept Cohen afloat in Rapture, I'd be surprised if he'd really take that risk. Besides, Ryan dated Diane McClintock and had exotic dancer Jasmine Jolene on the side, so Cohen probably knew he wouldn't be able to bark up that tree.
I guess he didn't have to necessarily meet romantic love. You know how those artsy-fartsy types like to be needlessly melodramatic.
Hey, Obama, while I deal with these aggravating feelings, weren't you going to comment on the insect swarm plasmid earlier?
Ah, yes. Thank you, Joe. So like a lot of other plasmids, insect swarm did initially have a pretty reasonable use case. With no natural ease in rapture, the ability to, conjure them with insect swarm allowed for pollination to occur in Arcadia. However, marketers are going to market, and insect swarm was quickly advertised to the masses as an effective measure against door-to-door salesmen, as illustrated by this advertisement.
Gotta love off-label drug usage, baby. Septic.
At Bonus Gamer 7, we absolutely do not endorse off-label use of medication.
Goody two-shoes, Obama. Always ruining the fun.
Obama being the narc aside, I'm heading back to the atrium to figure out what Cohen wants me to do with this huge serial killer red flag photo trophy of Fitzpatrick's corpse.
You see it? When I am dust, this is what they'll point to. My quad tick. My masterpiece. Go ahead. Don't be afraid. Just touch it.
Okay, and there he goes again with that creepy shit. And I quote, go ahead. Don't be afraid. Touch it. Some absolutely diabolical dialogue. Go ahead. Don't be afraid. Touch it.
Don't mind me. Just
Disciples of mine, all connected by a common thread. Betrayal. Find them, little home, and immortalize their mortality in my quad. Go. Once they've been sent to their home, you shall go to you. And to lie.
So let me get this straight. Blood wants us to kill his former homeboys and take photos of their corpses to place in this freaky-ass frame of wax-covered cadavers so that his capacity for pettiness can be immortalized? That's pretty badass, not gonna lie.
even I kind of like it when you put it that way. Honestly, sorry.
London is now open to life. And allowing long back.
Oh, man. You guys didn't tell me I needed to bring a coat.
I can see over.
Okay, kind of creepy, not gonna lie.
She touched it as we vodka, went back like a rabbit. I just watched and waited. They started to kick. I started to scratch. Made myself a little this laser party like it. You get in the cold. You gotta grow ice or you're out. You don't smell it on the center, baby. The Iceman fucking coming.
Fun fact here, The Iceman Comet is the name of a play published in 1946 about a group of alcoholics who spend their time drinking at a bar and using it on the hopes and dreams that they cling on to in order to give them the strength to keep marching on. One of them quits drinking and attempts to persuade the others to do the same and take some action in their lives with some dire consequences. Quote, "There's no end to the delusions that make life bearable."
Obama, quit yapping and help me.
I feel great. Finally said someone. Son of a bitch. Let me breathe. I've got moves all down here.
Martin's voice actor really nailed it there. Gotta say, the voice acting in the Bioshock series is pretty damn good.
It is. But you jerks just sat there and let him freeze me solid. I've been using the liquid nitrogen chemical thrower a lot this episode. Is this what I've been doing to people?
Yeah, but you've been spraying bots and splicers, which are either not alive at all, or so far gone that it's probably an act of mercy to shatter them into 1,000 pieces. And Martin freezing the player is a scripted event. I don't know why he doesn't just kill you right then and there. But we knew you were going to be fine. So relax before you put too much strain on your heart and finally take that forever nap.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, Donald, but that's tied to some in-universe channel lore that hasn't been officially conveyed yet. Do you think any of our viewers have followed the breadcrumbs and figured out how I've managed to beat cancer without any signs of chemo or androgen deprivation therapy?
I am usually the one that's on top of stuff like that, and even I don't know what you're talking about, Joseph.
Joe, I am glad that you've managed to beat cancer. If anyone or anything is going to take you out, it's going to be me, not some shitty cellular mutation that we've had to cure for a long time, probably. But over to Barack, isn't Martin Finnegan being a Houdini splicer kind of a plot hole? Like you said, he was trapped in these frozen tunnels. But if he's a Houdini, why didn't he just, teleport his ass out of here?
That's pretty secret. Take a photo of it and place it in the quad tick. I'm feeling full like an expectant mama.
That's actually a decent point, Donald. My assumption is that Martin was trapped in the frozen tunnel, And that plasmid cocktail he pieced together from the other trapped splicers included the frozen field tonic, which probably made him more comfortable in the cold than not. From his dialogue, it seems he was content with hiding out here and biding his time, as opposed to actively seeking conflict with Cohen, like some of the other audio logs we've heard from Cohen's disciples. There's also a bit of inconsistency in the series as to whether the teleport plasmid is true teleportation or merely invisibility. More on that after more of Cohen's randomness.
I'll put the picture in the frame. Let's see what we got here.
Okay, so there was an early version of the teleport plasmid that was usable by the player by marking a spot for teleportation and then materializing there when activating the plasmid. However, it was cut due to how easy it was to break the game during scripted events and skip entire sections. In areas with water, you can see that DB Splicer's feet splashing in the water as they move, which implies that the plasmid is more so a means of invisibility as opposed to teleportation. However, in other areas we see Houdini's vanish and reappear in difficult-to-reach places, or covering great distances nearly instantly. There's also a segment in Burial at Sea where Houdini's Splicer later is teleporting around to different tables very quickly.
There's also an Easter egg that removed teleport plasmid in Fontaine's Futuristics later on in Bioshock 1, if I remember correctly. So I guess the answer is, the teleport plasmid either has different versions, or perhaps different potency, or it's just another example of lore and gameplay inconsistency, I guess.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was marketed as one thing, but really did something else, since I doubt there's many truth in advertising laws in Rapture. Hell, the inconsistency of the potency doesn't really surprise me either, although maybe I'm just inclined to cut the developers some slack instead of overanalyzing everything like Barry. But enough about plot holes in lore and gameplay inconsistencies. I'm going to go ahead and use my first security bullseye Big Daddy kill. I get one more after this, since Obama...
To bump it up to 2 uses each, no big deal.